Russia has attained every single one of its goals since it invaded Ukraine, and more. Russian President Vladimir Putin specifically stated that he invaded Ukraine in order to stop the spread of NATO. And only Vladimir Putin could have pulled this off with the joining of Sweden and Finland into the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, meaning that Russia now has an entire western wall of NATO countries to face. And while the Kremlin said that the special military operation in Ukraine would take a total 3 days, they have managed to take less than 20% of the territory in just 2 years. While Ukraine has easily suffered between 500,000 to 750,000 deaths, Russia's casualty and equipment loss has been microscopic in comparison, totaling only 600,000 soldiers that are considered eliminated personnel and easily tens of billions of dollars in loss of military equipment. The borders between Russia and Ukraine have never been more secure, as Ukraine forces have punctured a hole into the Kursk region and have now been fortified there for 13 days straight, where Russian troops who are trying to push them out keep getting defeated. And the sanctions that the US and other NATO countries have placed on Russia have only strengthened the Moscow economy. Russian interest rates are only 18%, and it looks like to some analysts that their GDP is going to contract at the same levels that they did in 2009, at least according to the head of the Russian Central Bank. The United States has completely locked out the Russian Federation and all individuals in that federation from being able to acquire US dollar-backed debt, which has strangled their economy. As a lot of you know, Russia is the world's second largest oil producer, and they use their exports of oil and natural gas as a means of funding their war in Ukraine. And it's not for us to question the brilliance of Vladimir Putin's economic insights in not diversifying the Russian economy away from commodities, because energy exports are the only thing that Russia can use in order to afford this war. But because Russia's oil exports are severely limited by the West, it looks like the Kremlin has no choice but to sell their oil to China and India at dirt cheap prices, where they not only lock in little profit, but may actually be losing money. The constant Ukraine drone attacks against oil refineries in Russia and other oil depots have done nothing to disturb the supply of Russian energy, even though Russia's refining capacity has dropped by about 15 to 20%. Last but not least, Russia has their own version of NATO. It's called the CSTO, the Collective Security Treaty Organization. They have their own version of NATO's Article 5, but they have an Article 4, meaning that if Russia gets invaded, all of the other CSTO countries will rush to Russia's aid. But that hasn't happened. All of this information clearly shows that NATO has suffered a significant loss, and Russia is just going to continue prospering. I am the Geo Hussar, and let me know when you realize this post is satire. Thanks for watching.